Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. I hope you're all doing well. It is Wednesday, February 19th, and in this video I'm doing a VR actually for Mark's Dodgers cards, who after recently surpassing 350 subscribers now, congrats Mark on that really great milestone. Love your channel. Even though I'm a Yankee fan, but I like seeing great Dodgers cards too, and you've got a lot of them. So I really enjoy your videos and your cards and your collection. And I know you asked us to do a VR to recognize a few players from our favorite team who would kind of be in the Hall of Very Good. And so I'm going to do that. My favorite team is the New York Yankees. They have a decent number, I'd say, of Hall of Very Good players. I'll highlight a few. And also, I know you asked us to shout out three channels that have been going for less than 3 years. And so I'm going to do that as well. So let's turn the phone around and get started. Okay, so how I'm going to work this is I'm really going to try to keep it to that very good level, meaning like Yankees, who I think could possibly get in the Hall of Fame someday, I'm actually not going to show in this video. So you won't actually see any Don Mattingly, you won't see Thurman Munson, you won't see Lou Piniella. Those are three Yankees that I think still have a chance to get in the Hall of Fame at some point for various reasons. Piniella as a manager, for example. Munson, I think once Buster Posey is up for induction and he's eligible, I really think the conversation around Munson will really kick up again because him and Posey and Munson have strikingly similar stats, and I do think Posey's going to get in. So I think Thurman's got a shot in a few years, perhaps, or maybe we'll see, 5 to 10 years down the line, maybe there'll be another push to try to get him in. But and then with Mattingly, we'll see. I think there's a chance that Mattingly could get in someday, but we'll see. But they're not going to be in this video. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to highlight just some other players that were really kind of like great role players to the point they were like great role players to the point where they were in the Hall of Fame, Hall of Very Good. So, like for me, they're almost maybe it's a oh gosh, what's the phrase I'm thinking? I have you're either a large hall guy or a small hall guy. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to make it sort of a large Hall of Very Good from a Yankee perspective because, I'm a fan. So with that kind of out of the way here, let me show you a few cards. What I'm going to do is kind of go by, I'm going to go in reverse chronological order and in order of like eras of like Yankees championship teams. So I'm going to start with those late 90s, early 2000s era Yankees. And they had players like Jorge Posada. That, was a great player for the Yanks. Wasn't the best fielding catcher, but he was a really good hitter. And you're going to see a lot of autographs actually in this video as well. So thought I'd show that. Actually, I'll try to bring some of these up close too. You got Jorge, you've got Bernie Williams. That's a 5-star autograph from 2021. He's got such a nice signature there. We've also got from those teams Andy Pettitte. Again, Hall of Very Good. I do not think Pettitte will get in the Hall of Fame. If he did, I would be pretty surprised. I think Bernie actually could have a chance someday. But again, with the fact that some of these guys aren't already in, even some of the names I mentioned at the beginning, like Donnie Baseball, they might never get in. But there's Andy Pettitte. That's also a 5-star auto from 2021, Topps 5-star. And lastly, from that era, from that group, this is one of my favorite autographs actually in my collection. And Paul O'Neill's one of my favorite Yankees. So, like if I had a like kind of have a full roster of Yankees, let's say a 25, 26 man roster of all-time Yankees, he'd be on the team. He might not be in the starting outfield, but he'd be on the team. So in fact, he wouldn't be in the starting outfield, but anyway, this was from Topps Gold Label, and I think 2021 as well. but I just happen to really like that. Cool autograph, cool pictures that they had on the card. So just good stuff there. Okay, so I'm going to do the channel shout-outs in between the eras of cards I'm showing. And so the first shout-out is going to be, channel shout-out's going to be for the Cincinnati Kid. Topher's got a great channel where he shows a lot of really good 50s, 60s, 70s vintage. As you might expect, he shares a decent amount of Reds cards. He's the Cincinnati Kid, after all. Really good channel. I had the pleasure of doing one collab with him once as well. So I encourage you to check out his channel and subscribe if you aren't already. All three of the shout-outs I'm going to do here are for channels that have been around fewer than 3 years and have fewer than 350 subscribers. And I'm kind of surprised, actually, at some of the at the channels I ended up picking. So it's like I want to make sure for those who might be watching this, if they aren't aware of these three channels, to definitely go check them out because they have great stuff. So I'll get to the second one in a bit, but we're going to go back now into the 70s era Yankees. And, we've got, highlighted by Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter, Hall of Famers, just great teams. But then we also, of course, had players like, Hall of Very Good players like Greg Nettles. We had Hall of Very Good players like Ron Guidry. And here's another one we had, Willie Randolph. Look up Willie Randolph's stats if you get a chance. I did just in the last few days, starting to think about doing this video, and I hadn't looked at his stats in a while. Willie Randolph had a very, very good career. Super consistent in terms of like how the consistent numbers that he'd put up. And I just love that he hardly struck out. And, he's a contact hitter. He had over 2,000, I think it was 2,200 hits, 2,100 hits. He had over 2,000 hits. And was just a solid player, awesome player, and multi-all-star, won a couple of World Series. Great Yankee, great ball player, pretty good manager too. Really, really good baseball man. So, Willie Randolph, Hall of Very Good. Here are two more I want to share. Now, Roy White is in the Hall of Very Good Large Hall edition. Roy White was a great Yankee. It came up right when the Yankees were kind of at their, in their doldrums in the very late 60s, early 70s. And then, was able to be a solid role player and contributor on those late 70s World Series winners. And so Roy White has a really he has a great kind of a great spot in the hearts of a lot of Yankee fans. So I was thrilled to get this TTM from him a couple of years ago. And I'm actually about to send him another one from, I think I have a 1970 card of his back from when they weren't very good. But I'm going to send it out his way and hope I can get that one signed from him as well. Here's one more from the era. Sparky Lyle, who was actually a Cy Young Award winner in 1977, I believe. This is a 76 Topps card also. I got TTM from him. So there's some 70s, well, you can call it Bronx Zoo era Yankees if you'd like. But there are some cards there from that era. The next channel shout-out's going to be for Eric, the Detroit Collector. The Detroit Collector, Eric's got a really, really interesting channel. I really enjoy catching his content when I can. He hasn't been putting out too many videos of late, but he's got a really, he's got a really good eye for pre-war. And so I love the way he talks about his goals and some of the pickups he's made, especially in pre-war. He's got some really, really great stuff that he shares. So I encourage you to check out the Detroit Collector if you haven't already. So now we're going to go back to back into the 1950s actually, and I'm going to show several cards here, and a lot of them are going to be of one guy actually, as it turns out, and that guy's going to be Hank Bauer. Hank Bauer was I'd say he's in the large hall of the large. If you're a large hall guy, he's in the Hall of Very Good. Again, just He was a great Yankee, great American actually as well. He was a Marine in that regard. So Hank Bauer was a heck of a ball player and good manager as well. In fact, he won a World Series, I believe, with the Baltimore Orioles in '66. I believe he was their manager for that team. Yeah, pretty sure that's right. If I'm wrong there, correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's right. There's a 54 Topps Hank Bauer. I'll bring this one up a little closer. This one's in pretty nice shape, actually. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna speed it up here. Actually, I've got some life away from the camera that needs to get tended to. It's bedtime for my kids. So, but let me wrap this up here by showing these cards real quick. Here, I got a Hank Bauer autograph that he signed back in, 20-something years ago, maybe for a Top Special series. Really cool card there. And then let's stay with that 52 theme. I'll show two other players, a couple of pitchers, actually. Here's a 52 Topps Allie Reynolds. Just a real money pitcher there, late in his career, especially for the Yankees. He had some really, really good years near the end of his career for the Yanks. And Ed Lopat, similarly, was just a really, really dependable Yankee hurler. Whitey Ford, Hall of Famer, was the ace of the staff, chairman of the board, but Reynolds actually Reynolds kind of came up in some ways. He was pitching before Whitey arrived, but then very late in his career, when Ford was just getting started, Allie was still on the team pitching, but Lopat was there for several of those Yankee teams with Whitey Ford. So, but good stuff there. All right, the last channel shout out I'm going to do, and I do have to kind of wrap this up quick. The last channel shout out's going to be Brian Hodges 1455. Brian puts out a lot of really fun content. The way he does his videos, he does a lot of short and sweet videos, 5-6 minutes, and he'll post several in a week. So he's very dependable content creator, and it's always a fun watch. He has got a wide variety of card content that he shares, from vintage to current or to 80s, 90s as well, but primarily vintage, I believe. So definitely check out Hodges 1455 if you're not already subscribed to him. So 3 great channels there. We got, again, since the Cincinnati Kid, the Detroit Collector, and Hodges 1455. And let me dive into the last era of Yankees, success, I guess you could say. I'm going to show 3 more cards. The first one is going to be this 1949 Bowman, Bobby Brown. He was a third baseman for the Yanks. He's in the large Hall of Very Good. Again, I'll say you make it a big Hall of Very Good. For me, Bobby Brown gets into that hall for the years of service as American League president. Well after his playing career ended. He was the AL president for about 10 years, I believe. And he was won several World Series with the Yankees in the late 40s and early 50s. 49 Bowman Bobby Brown. And then we're going to show here another good role player for the Yanks. Tommy Henrich, outfielder. Played 40s. I think he started right before the war. He has 41 play ball, so of course he did. And then played for several of the Yankee championship teams after the war as well. This is 41 play ball. Really love the color on this card. Just really pops. Love this. I actually got this in Strongsville last year. A show I'm hoping to go to here coming up in a couple of months. We'll see if I can make it out there. The hope is that I will. And the last card in this video I'm going to show is we're going to go all the way back to the 30s here. 1934 Gaudy. I get a chance to show my Red Rolf rookie card. Red Rolf does not have too many cards, actually. Very few, actually. And I picked this up at the 2023 National in Chicago. And it's SGC 3.5. I bought it raw, had it graded. Love this card. 1934 Gaudy. Red Rolf, look up his stats. He didn't play for long, but he was a big-time part of that late 30s Yankees lineup. Third baseman. He actually led the league in hits one year. as well. So there you have it. I'll end it with Mr. Rolf here on the camera. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Mark again for the opportunity to take part in your VR. Congrats again on the subscriber milestone. And check out those channels that I mentioned earlier. I'll have links to their channels in the description, read more description below. So that does it from here. Take care everyone. I'll catch you on the next video. All right, bye now.